I'm Bailey Brewer, and this is my EDL 318 Digital Positionality. What makes me, me? Some of my favorite people, the photo on the far left is my dad, my sister, and I. The top photo in the center are just some of my friends. The bottom photo is my mom, me, and my two sisters, and on the very right it is my brother and I. Groups I identify with within society: linguistic, I speak English; professional, early childhood education; ethnicity, I'm American; my race is white; and cultural, I am Christian and non-denominational. Where I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio. I live in the suburbs. A middle-class area, middle-class family. The school I went to is called Indian Hill. The population surrounding Cincinnati, it is 50.33% white, 41.37% Black and African American, 4.58% two or more races, 2.19% Asian, 0.07% Native American, 1.42% other, and 0.05% Pacific Islander. So for this slide, I chose to title it The Bubble, and a quote that I found from the Teacher Leadership for Social Justice says, "I do not think white teachers enter the profession wanting to harm children of color, but they will hurt a child whose culture is viewed as afterthought." This is from Love in 2019, as cited in Aronson and Potter on page 53. So growing up, I attended a school that was primarily a white upper middle class community. I never felt that I was not educated on topics of diversity, culture, or the prevalence of racism. However, being in a school like mine, it did look that way. There were constant stereotypes and preconceived notions that people created. Going into field and having the opportunity to work with children of all races, different backgrounds, different cultures, different stories, I was shocked. I can't say that I've never seen any of these things, but seeing children cry about when they'll have their next meal or when their mom will get out of jail is something foreign to me because I've never had to worry about these things. It breaks my heart to see so many children that have to, and that this is just normal to them. This is just life for them, and that's something I will never fully be able to understand without personally living through it. Some of my aspirations include becoming a teacher, getting married, starting a family, traveling the world, becoming successful, and being happy. Within society, I am a daughter to my parents, my mom and my dad. I am a sister to my three siblings, Brendan, Corinne, and Taylor. I am a friend, a co-worker, and a future educator. What a teacher is to me. Some things I said for this: someone who cares for her students every day throughout the good and the bad, someone who puts their students first, never themselves, someone who understands each one of her students and cares for them, someone who makes an effort with her students and their families, someone who is able to accommodate and adapt to all things that they may face on a day-to-day basis, someone who makes each student feel seen, loved, and worthy, and someone who makes sure each student succeeds and reaches their full potential, regardless of any obstacles that may occur. Some questions I want to consider. What is the purpose of schooling? Schools should help students build the skills that they will use in life. These skills include both academic knowledge and life skills. These are all questions and quotes from Potter's book. What is your image of the learner? What kind of past experiences do they have? How can they and their classmates use these experiences to their advantage when it comes to learning? What is the preferred pedagogy? I believe in communication first. I think that a lot can be solved by working through a problem and getting to the root cause. What is the preferred school climate? I believe that school should feel like a community. I believe that there should be passion, positivity, and energy throughout the staff. I believe that a strong community should share similar goals and values while also being accepting of different opinions. So for the last question, personally, in the past 2 schools that I had the opportunity to observe and student teach in, I've seen a lack of the things mentioned in the last question, passion, positivity, and energy. I've just felt like the students haven't wanted to come to school, that it is more a place that they have to go. And for me personally, as a future educator, I want to make sure that my students are excited to learn, excited to come to school, and that I give them not only a environment where they will learn and grow and succeed, but also an environment where they will feel safe and excited to come in and just welcomed with open arms. Some threshold concepts that really stick out to me throughout my whole academic education, I guess, our curriculum is more than standards, textbooks, or courses of study, and education is not neutral, teaching is political. These quotes I found from Teacher Leadership for Social Justice, and they really stood out to me because they provide a great insight on what these concepts entail. So for the first one, curriculum is more than standards, textbooks, or courses of study. I found a quote from Potter that says, I wanted to introduce activities, materials, and sample problems that I had created on my own, but was told that class lessons always consisted of what was in the official textbooks issued by government, common to all schools, and all the basis for the annual tests that determined whether students would move on to the next grade level. This one is super important to me because I think that teaching students the curriculum just out of the textbook is not engaging, it's not exciting, it's not going to keep them entertained or want them to be interactive in the classroom, because it's not necessarily the most fun thing. And of course, it's important to use textbooks and stuff like that, but it's also important to incorporate a learning aspect where students can be engaged and they can also give their insight and their opinions and their thoughts, and also to perform activities related to the topics in the curriculum without necessarily only using the textbook. So the next one, education is not neutral, teaching is political. There is no such thing as a neutral education process. Education either functions as an instrument which is used to facilitate the integration of generations into the logic of the present system and bring about a conformity to it, or becomes the practice of freedom, the means by which men and women deal critically with reality and discover how to participate in the transformation of their world. Beliefs, some of my beliefs as a future educator. I believe in daily check-ins, weekly meetings with students. Both teachers and students have empowerment and agency. Frequent communication with parents, guardians, families, people in those students' lives, whoever that may be. Creative teaching strategies to ensure inclusivity in the classroom, positivity and compassion always. I know this isn't always the easiest thing to do, but I think it's super important and will change the student's view on school once you have created an environment that is positive and the foundation is set on compassion and love. And then just a challenging yet achievable classroom. So accommodating to the students who might need different things, and also accommodating to the ones who may be more accelerated, just to keep it challenging but also attainable for those students. So I just put in a slide about my second grade teacher. So Mrs. Everly is my biggest influence and inspiration within school. She is the reason I am so passionate about teaching and why it has been something I've wanted to do since second grade. So she was my second grade teacher in 2008, and there's a photo of us on one of our last days of school. And Mrs. Everly just changed so much for me. She changed the game for me completely. She is the reason I want to be a teacher and have wanted to be a teacher since I was 8 years old. She has just made me into the person that I am and given me such a heart and a passion for students of all kinds. She's the most compassionate, loving teacher that I've ever had, and she has just always made it a point to include all of her students and make them all feel seen, make them all know that they're capable of success no matter what level, no matter any obstacles that they may be facing, and just giving them the most positive school experience. So my current beliefs, I believe all students deserve to be able to use their voice. Giving them an equal say will create an overall stronger, healthier environment in the classroom. I believe you should know every student and treat each with compassion and respect. No child is a troublemaker. And I believe that it is so important to get to know each student, get to know each family. You never know what goes on behind the scenes, so give grace and love often. In conclusion, just by observing a class full of little second graders so far this semester, with all different backgrounds, my eyes have been open to people so different from me. People with completely different stories than mine, people who struggle daily with things that I've never had to worry about. I am so grateful to be where I am and have the amazing opportunity to meet all of these wonderful people and children and hopefully change their life, even if it's just a small amount. I believe that I will be able to understand my students to an extent, as I've been through a lot of the same things, feelings, experiences, more so within school, as some of them. Of course, there are things I will never be able to understand, but it is my job to not only try to understand, but to create a safe, loving, welcoming place where my students can come and know that they are loved and appreciated no matter where they are, who they are, or what they may struggle with or be going through or continue to go through. Thank you.